Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today as we talk about Agile Transformation organized by HCL Technologies Vietnam. My name is Mai, Senior Marketing, and I'm your host. So now we are waiting for more people to join.
In July 2020, HCL began its journey in Vietnam. It was also the same period when the dreadful pandemic pushed the whole world behind closed doors. But technology came to the rescue and the world remained connected. Thus, in order to ensure regular dialogue, free flow of knowledge, thoughts and ideas, HCL Vietnam TechTalk series was envisaged. In this HCL TechTalk series, HCL experts share ideas on technology, future of workplace, connected living, and connected enterprise. The series went live on December 2020, and since then, sessions on various high-tech technologies such as machine learning, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, digital manufacturing, cybersecurity, etc. have been conducted. HCL Vietnam is committed to shape the technology of the next decade today. HCL Tech Talks will keep bringing many such valuable tech talks to your home screen. Stay tuned.
So welcome back to the HCL Tech Talk series today. So what is Agile Transformations? Why do we need Agile Transformations? All will be answered in today's conference. Feel free to drop questions. Please comment below. We will answer at the end of presentations. So now, without further ado, we will turn to the time over to our speaker, Mr. Ravi Babaji, HCL Vietnam Resident Director. He is a seasoned IT industry professional, nearly 30 years of management experience, who has served and managed Fortune 50, 500, corporate and public sector, government organizations in various verticals across many geographies. So, and we also have Ms. Savita Gupta, an Agile coach with more than 10 years of industry experience. She had a strong understanding of Agile frameworks, cloud, and artificial intelligence. So to begin, I would like to invite Mr. Ravi to have opening speech, please.
Thank you, Mai. Good morning, Xin Chao, and a very warm welcome to all of you to join us today on a Saturday morning to hear about the exciting topic called Agile Transformation. I will not take much of your time, just briefly talk about HCL Vietnam and then hand over to my colleague Savita, who will take the discussions further. Mai, can you go to the first slide, please? So, as mentioned, HCL Vietnam started over a year ago, and as on date, we are located in two locations, Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, with an overall team size of 650 odd people spread across the two locations. We are serving 30 plus global customers from both the locations, Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, with a diversity ratio of 27%. HCL Vietnam has also successfully set up a university partnership program where we have got over 15 universities with whom we have already signed the MOUs. And our focus area for Vietnam is in the high-tech area, which also includes digital transformation as a key focus area for us. Go to the next slide, please. As you can see on the left side, the circles are the focus areas, the domains where HCL Vietnam is focusing on, from banking, insurance, other financial services, automobiles, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, medical devices, and CPG and retail. HCL Vietnam is addressing requests and opportunities from global business, regional business, which includes Japan, Taiwan, Korea, and other Southeast Asian nations, including Australia, New Zealand, and also the local business within Vietnam. Our focus areas, again, IT and business services, engineering and R&D services, IT infrastructure management, products and platforms, and subsequently we'll also look at global innovation centers. We recruit people who are experienced professionals who are here in Vietnam. We also look at fresh university graduates and also students who are undergoing their university education in the 7th and the 8th semesters. With this, we actually build our workforce with a focus of 95% of the workforce being local in Vietnam. Next slide, please. Yeah, these two are the locations. As you can see, we are in Hanoi. We are located at Pham Van Dong, where we have got 5 floors we have taken in the star. And in Ho Chi Minh City, we are located in District 1, where our 150-seater facility is already there, and we are planning to expand further in the coming months or so. With that, I would like to hand over to my colleague Savita to talk about Agile Transformation, which is a very interesting and very important discussion in today's scenario. Over to you, Savita. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you, Ravi. That is so informative. So let's move on the next session with Miss Savita Gupta. She is an Agile coach with more than 10 years of industry experience, as you know. So she had a strong understanding of Agile framework. So Miss Savita, are you ready? Yes. So I want to introduce you more than about Savita. She with she had a creative framework for retail, online, banking, and e-commerce domain. She had transformed and delivered high-performing teams and dry engineering practice like CI/CD, beside continuing in print testing. She had recruited and coached team, Scrum Master on Agile values and principles to promote continuous improvement in practice. So Savita?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mai. Hi, good morning, everyone. Xin chào. I am Savita, as given by Mai. I'm working as an enterprise agile white coach in HCL. Today, I'll talk about how agile has transformed the new way of working. If I talk about new way of working in this digital era, how this transformation has came, how people are moving forward, how we are collaborating with each others, so that the industries, as I said, it can be banking, finance, retail, pharmacy, life science, how these lives have transformed and how IT has given this transformation. So we are moving from a project centric area to a customer centric area. If I say customer centric area, that means the lives of customer has been so much change, and this change and this ease has came by this transformation. The productivity and the quality of what which was delivered is being far more ahead than we are now. So we'll tell how this is happening. Let's explore how this is happening. The very step that we take is the change in the mindset. So let's go. Since, as you can see in the slide, I being the presenter, this is how I introduce myself, Savita. The meaning is the ray of the sun, and deep dive, how do we shine? So guys, have this self motivation and emotional, I would say, a complete introduction of yourself, so that whenever you introduce yourself, you should have that aura. Can we go to next slide? Yes. Let's come to agile. What is agile? If I say agile, agile is a mindset. It is a cultural shift. It is a cultural shift towards we are handing over a culture, we are handing over a mindset. If I say mindset, that means we are shifting from one side to the other. Initially, what we used to have We used to have leaders who were dictating us, who were telling us what to do and what not to do, and it was more of command and control. Now it has completely changed. As we say change, the ownership or the complete roles and responsibility lies to individual, to a team. Hence, agile we say it is an attitude, it is a state of mind. It is not a techniques. It doesn't have any boundaries. So whatever situations or whatever environments comes to you, based on that we are the self decision makers. If I say we are the self decision maker, we are the one who are doing the deliveries, we are the one who are delivering something to the customer, and we are the only one who can take the right decisions. Hence, agile is a transformation, and it also has a transformation of mindset, which is in the form of cultural shift. It's a process that we say we are one team and we are deeming one thing so that we can deliver successfully to our customers. Can we go to next slide? So the way back, how agile came into picture, that we need to see. We have certain principles, we have certain values, and how we are practicing it. So, it is a group of a software development methods in which software evolve using a collaboration of self-organizing and a cross-functional team. Consider a scenario that how your brain function. If I say how your brain function, there are two parts in your brain. Okay, two parts in your brain. There's a left part of it and a right part of it. So left part of it is more of logical and right part of it is more of emotional. So there are certain principles, there are certain values which are given by agile, and how you have to adopt, you have to take it accordingly. So the left part function as these 12 principles and the values, and the right part function it adapt those principles and values and do it accordingly. Have your own values, have your own ownership, and deliver in that way. So combine that left part and right part of the brain, and overall your brain function in that way. Similarly, we are saying agile also function in a similar way. Certain values and principles are there. We follow that. We are not following it blindly, but we are following it by taking our own roles and responsibility so that we can deliver to the customer. And how we are delivering it to the customer, let's see how we are doing so. Can we go to next slide? Yes, coming back to history. So where did it came from? In 1986, there was a new product development came. Through that, we tried and narrated this scenario. But in way back, we were using waterfall model. In 1970s, if we say there was, we were using waterfall. So if I say waterfall and agile, these are what? These are some methodologies that we are using so that industry wise people can adapt and can follow this so that the things can be delivered in a streamlined fashion. Overall, I would say in 1970s people started using what all are those methods. We started using waterfall. Coming back to 1986, the new product development came for a gaming. If it came for a gaming, then we started adapting that how we can change, because things were there but we were not able to deliver on time, we were not able to deliver as productive as it was required. Hence, we started using some methodologies so that it can be transformed. So we use a Scrum, we use Kanban, we use DSDM. So these are certain frameworks which are used within Agile. So all these were combined and we call them that this is an Agile manifesto. So the very first picture of Agile manifesto came in 2001, where as we'll move forward, we'll say what all these Agile manifestos say. So in short, Mike Mitchell, the founder and CEO, came and created this Agile methodologies. So let's move forward and see. Can we go to next slide? But why it was required? We want to know why it is required. So there are certain challenges which came into picture. While people were developing and delivering, there were certain challenges which came into picture in if we were using our traditional approach. We were doing it in a very planned and fashioned way. We were not making decision in between, or we can say ahead of time. We were building certain specific things which were of certain expectation, but when the outcome was coming, I would say an output of the that was coming, we saw there was a heavy discrepancy in that. There were a lot of discrepancies. Thus, the other major things that came as a challenge from a traditional approach, or we can say from a waterfall model, was heavy documentation. We used to write and document technical document, functional documents, business documents. These were the certain documentation which was required and must to take any sign off from the customer. And we used to have a celebration of a big bang release. So celebrations of a big bang release means we used to release in a year or so, or in a 6 months or so. So so these become a bottleneck or a blocker for us, because if we are going ahead for a big releases, the complexity also get very much increases. Sometimes the customer requirement also changes. So if the customer requirement changes, we have to change that. But since we are following a certain plan, we were not able to do so. And also, as we grew, as we see it has transformed, there was a faster time to market. Faster time to market means the time we wanted to deliver get reduced, and people want more and more in a lesser number of time. Also, the demand from the industry was the quality of the product should be delivered. But if we are doing so, how we are doing so? So this rapid change needs to be taken care. So these were the certain challenges that we see: complexity, faster time to market, all these things. And ultimately, what the people who were developing, what they were having certain challenges and motivations issue. Let's see how Agile has resolved this. Can we go to next slide? See, yeah, why we are using Agile? As we have seen, uh, while using Agile, there were certain challenges which were removed. You can say, we always say change is risky and costly. Of course. Do we say yes? But we need this. But we need this. How often we need this? We need to see this. Initially, in the waterfall, we have phase gated approach. Phase gated, if I say, there was a requirement phase, there was a development phase, then come the coding phase, testing phase, and then the deployment phase. These were the certain phases as we have seen in the waterfall, and all were phase gate. Once the requirement was complete, then we go into next level. Or you can say when the testing was complete, then we go into the UAT part, and then or for the deployment part. We wanted to remove this barrier of phase gating, and let's put together everything in one place so that we can have more developments and more releases. Let's see how it is going on. Can we go to next slide? Okay. If we are saying through Agile we were able to solve these things, let's see what are the certain values and principles which help the Agile to, to see this. So there are 4 values and 12 principles. Let's see these 4 values: individual and interaction over process and tool. If I say individual and interaction over process and tool, that means we want more people to interact with each other. If I say, imagine a scenario that you have to develop something, then you will have your customers, you will have your end users, you will have the development team also who are delivering. We want these people to have more face to face interaction rather than they are going ahead and reading certain documentation or following certain processes. Working software over comprehensive documentation. We want to create certain POCs, a dummy or a demo, so that Smallest of the things that we have created or we have done, we can show to our customer. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Whenever we are dealing something in industry wise, there are certain contracts that we sign. So we are saying we are going beyond that contracts. We want our customers to interact with our team more often so that this contract negotiation can be far moved ahead. Responding to change over following a plan. As we say, since these were the phase gated approach, we were following a certain plan. Step one, 2, 3, 4. Now we are saying as the need of the customer is changing frequently and also the need of the market is changing, we want to accept those changes and move ahead. We are not going to follow a certain simple blind path, but we are going to respond these changes and accept these. So very simple, four values of the agile we can say. Let's go and see what are the 12 principles. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery. We are trying to satisfy our customer by giving them more deliverable on time. Delivery sooner. We are trying to deliver it more faster. How we are trying to deliver? We are giving more number of releases. We are going more number of releases. Motivated team. If I say motivated team, the team has to have trust in them. The team has to have their own responsibility, and how this own ownership of this responsibility is going to take forward. Whenever we are going to trust our team, the leaders have to trust their team that they are delivering, and they are the one who are pretty much aware of all these things. Welcome changes. If I say welcome changes, one of the four values, like any requirements which is coming in between of the release, or I say in between of the deliveries, we are accepting that, and accordingly we are planning so that we can accept and give it to the customers. Stakeholders involvement. Stakeholders, the people who are giving us requirement, these are the stakeholders. The people who are giving us that this is a need that we want to ship it into the market. So these people, we want them to more interact with us. Sustainable development. Sustainable development more sooner, so that developers can able to maintain a certain pace so that they can deliver it fast. Can we go to next page? Yes, working software. As we say that we want to give a demo to our customers. So demo is the smallest of the thing that we are showing them. This is how one of the part is being functioning. Let's customers see and they give our feedback accordingly. So when we are getting that feedback accordingly at an early stage of our requirement, then we are able to enhance it or we are able to change it. Hence, we are saying we are showing working software. This is how we are enhancing agility. And we want our team, we want our individuals to be self organized. If I say self organized, then they can take their own ownership, they can take their own decision making within that team. More face to face conversation. Of course, yes, when we say there are certain challenges while emailing or while doing so, it become a bit cumbersome. So we want people to interact more with each other by having face to face. That is why we are using more of video calls so that we can interact with each other in this virtual world. Simplicity. Simplicity is the amount of reducing the work. How we are reducing the work? We are prioritizing the things, we are giving a priority to our things, that these are the certain priorities that we want to deliver it first, and then we'll go to next. This is how we are simplifying the things. Continuous improvement. If I say continuous improvement, we are sitting and looking back that what all things went wrong. There might be certain things which have gone wrong, so we'll sit, we'll understand. So there are certain meetings, as we'll go ahead, we'll see there are certain meetings in which we sit back and align and see that what all went good, what all can be changes we can do moving ahead. So, very simple, these are the 12 principles of Agile. Now, let's see how Waterfall and Agile are different and what we can use. So, let's go and see. waterfall versus agile. As I have already shared you that these are the certain phase gated approach. If I say phase gated approach, so that means once we take the requirement for the customer, unless 100% requirement has been taken from the customer, will not go ahead with the design part, the designing of that. Once the designing is completed, then we'll go ahead with the coding and then testing and then implementing. But if you can see on the right hand side, there's a circular panels which says requirement, design, testing, development, and deployment all are going parallelly. So let's see how it is going. So there are certain pros and cons of, I would say, waterfall and agile both. If I say waterfall, when should we take waterfall? If our requirement is 100% given, then we go ahead with the waterfall. But if I say based on customer needs and the market demand, there are certain requirement changes which are going ahead, then we should definitely go for agile. And if there is a flexibility in the requirements, then we should go ahead with the agile. If I say our team can sit together and collaborate and be in a one place, then we should go ahead with the agile. So, and we are also, by using all these things, we are also delivering it fast. So, these are the plus points in which we can go ahead with the agile. Let's go to the next page. How agile is different from that of waterfall? So, there are, as you can see in the diagram, so there's a fixed approach and there's a flexible approach also. If I say my scope is changing, the, the cost and the time remains the same because we are in a phase gated approach. We have given certain deadlines that within this time span we will able to deliver. So the cost and the time remains same if I talk about waterfall model. But the requirement is changing. So definitely cost and time will be affected. Since we are in a fixed approach, as we say in a waterfall, so we will not be able to deliver on time, we will not will hampering our cost also because the scope or the requirement is changing. But if we say, see the agile part, the triangle is inverted. If we say inverted, we are not dependent on cost and time. We are dependent on scope. Scope means requirement. We are dependent on requirement. As we say, the requirement changes, the cost and the time will change accordingly. Okay. So this is a drastic, or I would say a major difference between agile and our traditional approach. We are dependent upon requirements, we are dependent upon scope, we are not dependent upon time and cost. Okay, let's go to next page. Let's see how. Who are the stakeholders? Who are the people who are doing so? You can see on the left hand side we are talking about waterfall, and you can see on the right hand side we are talking about agile. There will always be a stakeholders who will be giving us requirement. So these are the project managers, as we say in waterfall. And if I say there will be a team who will be delivering that. So if I say team, in team there will be an SMEs, or you can say an expert who will tell us what has to do. There will be a business analyst, there will be an architect, there are going to be developers, testers, all these people are going to be there. Still in agile we are having those people. If you can see on the right hand corner, testers, SME, architect, developer, all these people are there, but they are in a one team. In waterfall they were in a different team, but in agile they are in a one team, and this one team is taken care by a scrum master. I'll go ahead and explain you what exactly the Scrum Master is. As you can see, a bundle of information which is called product backlog. Product backlog is what the product says. We are taking a product and we are putting all the requirement into small chunks, and we are putting in a one place. If we are putting that in a one place, we are saying it is as a backlog, and the ownership of this backlog lies to a person which is called product owner. Moving forward, we'll see all these people who are and what are their roles and responsibilities. Let's go to next slide. Sure. What are the frameworks? There are, as we say, Agile is an umbrella in which there are different frameworks. So, Agile, as I said, it is a mindset, it is a thought process, it is an attitude which specify four values and the 12 principles. But there are different frameworks which industry wise people follow. Let's see what are these frameworks. So, enterprise wise, there are certain frameworks which are called as SAFe, TAT, Spotify, Scrum of Scrum, Less, Scrum, Kanban. So, these are the certain frameworks that we are using industry wise. We'll go ahead and explain what exactly the Scrum is and what is Spotify. Okay, let's go to next slide. Scrum. Oh, let's see what exactly the Scrum is. Scrum is one of the framework in which industry-wise it is being widely used. If I say widely used, there are certain rules which are there. There are certain ceremonies. If I say ceremonies, we'll see what these ceremonies are and how we are doing so. Let's understand what Scrum is. So, Jeff and Ken were the two persons who were in the early 90s adopted this and they called it as a framework. Scrum, the word, you know where it comes from? The Scrum word comes from a rugby. Rugby is a match which is being played in which all team members align in a circular way before starting the match. And they say certain vows, I would say certain vows that how they are going to play the match. Imagine a field in which people are there, okay, and the match is about to start. So when the match is about to start, before that, just like 5 minutes before, in the field, all these people who are a part of this will form a circle and they will put inside their head and talk the way of playing, the agenda, how they want to win the match. So, this is how the idea or the concept of the Scrum came from. The way they stand and they talk for a little amount of time to assign their agenda, how to win the match, this concept was taken from rugby and now it is called as Scrum. So it is one of the framework in which people understand each other, okay, how they are going to deliver certain thing in a certain specific form. Okay, as I say, Scrum is lightweight, simple to understand, and difficult to master. Moving forward, you will see how it is very much simple to understand and how at times it can be complex. So, there are certain pillars and values. If I say pillars, similar to Agile, there are certain principles and values: transparency, inspection, and adoption. Okay, transparency. As we are in a team, imagine that people, everyone in your team is able to communicate easily whatever issues and challenges they are having at that moment of time. So that transparency need to be developed. Inspection. Inspections means we'll sit together and see what all things went good for us, what all things we can change, and what all things sometime it might happen that things might have gone wrong also. So let's sit together and see how we are inspecting it. Adaptations, how we are adopting it. We are taking small steps and then growing ourselves so that our team as a whole can deliver continuous and in a streamlined fashion. So, if I say these are the three pillars, so what are the values on which these pillars are standing? Commitment, focus, openness, respect, courage. So these are the five values we say. You need to have your commitment as you yourself are having that ownership, then you say, I am committed to do a certain work. How I am committed, I am focused. I am focused on what is given to me. Openness, I am open enough to adapt certain thing, and also I have respect for other teammates and courage to deliver something. So these are the five values. Based on these five values, we are saying these are the three pillars in which we are responding and following that. So these are certain pillars and the values, and let's see how Scrum is being followed. Can we go to next slide? Oh, you can see there's a complex diagram. Let's explain. It's very simple. Okay. So as you were seen in the earlier slide, the product backlog as you, very first slide. So there is a product owner, there is a person who is from the business side who takes the requirement from all the stakeholders, put it accordingly based on the priorities, and like imagine a shelf in which you are putting things like book 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, as your semesters approaches, there are 4 exams that you have to give. So first, and your timetable has also came. Since your timetable for the exam has came, you will see, okay, this is my first subject on which I am going to get focused. This is my next subject, and then accordingly 4 subjects are aligned based on your priority. That is how the customer needs are also being put it here. We are putting it on a priority basis. Just a second. So, if I saying a subject 1 is our first priority, we are taking that into a sprint. If I say sprint is a cycle. Just a second. Sprint is a cycle of 10 days. If I take 10 days, that means 10 working days are there in which we are trying to go and resolve this. So imagine a scenario, your timetable for exam has came. There are 4 subjects and you have taken first subject as your priority subject 1. Now I will only focus on subject 1. Okay, now I have taken that subject 1 and I want to cover it in 14 days, or you can say 10 working days. So this 10 working days is my sprint. Okay. And based on that, like imagine there are certain, I would say, task or a subtask, or you can say chapters in that book. Okay. There are 4 or 5 chapters in that particular subject. So chapter by chapter, I will take chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and 4. So there are 4 people also who are helping you there. Okay, imagine you are one of them. So a team of 4 people is there. So you says that, okay, I am confident I can take chapter 1. The other one say, yes, I'm also confident I can take chapter 2. So similarly, you as an individual is studying the chapter 1, taking the complete idea and the concept of chapter 1 and delivering it to the rest of the teammates. So 4 people, 4 chapter, all they are doing so reading though and delivering it. Okay, not I would say, and reading it, making us everyone understand. Ultimately, what at the end of the 2 weeks, we say all these 4 chapters are completed. Okay? If we say all these 4 chapters are completed, hence we are able to cover subject 1. So, from the backlog, as you can see, subject 1 we have taken, we have put it into the sprint, we have tried and delivered it. Okay? And how we are delivered, we'll go ahead and see. Okay? And ultimately, it is being completed. So, the ownership goes to all of us. We are acting as a team and we are working in a sprint, but there's a one person who is looking forward, is are you guys able to do it properly or not? So that person is the product owner. Okay, as we'll go ahead, we'll see how this was an example. I just wanted to correlate with all of you. Let's see in the real world how Scrum goes. Okay, can we go to next slide? Okay. As you can see on the left hand side, there's a Scrum team. So the product owner, very well versed. Now we are pretty much aware who is the product owner. Developer is a team who are developing that. And one on the left hand side, very corner, you can see the Scrum Masters. Scrum Master is a person who sees that any issues, any challenges that you have, smallest of the issues that you are having while developing certain things, you will go and say, I am having certain issues while developing so. So he will connect to the product owner and he might also connect to the other people also. So he will try and resolve these issues. On the right hand side, you can see there are 3 roles, 4 artifacts, 5 activities, and 5 values. 5 values I have already said: courage, openness, focus, commitment, and respect. So 3 roles, as you can see: product owners, developers, and scrum masters. 4 artifacts, as we have said: product backlog, as you have seen. So similar to product backlog, we have sprint backlog, increment, and definition of dance. and there are 5 activities. Let's go ahead and see what are these 5 activities. Can we go to next slide? Yes, ceremonies. Let's see how these are being followed. Next slide, please. Sprint planning. If I say the very first day of my day one, I want to plan that how my complete 14 or a 10 working days is going to look like. So we as a team will sit together and see how the sprint planning is done. Okay. So these are the 4 things: sprint planning. You can say, let's go and next slide and let's see. Come to next slide. Sprint planning. Okay. See, so we as a team are sitting together. We are giving an agenda, or you can say a goal, that how that goal is going to be achieved, what are the values that we are going to deliver in that time, and how we are making that sprint. We say these 14 or 10 working days as a sprint, and how we are going to successfully deliver. Okay. So there is always a goal defined to it, and how this goal is achieved by taking tasks from sprint backlogs. Okay. Next, go to next slide. Daily stand up. So this is a 15-minute event. Like suppose on the very first day you sat together and planned that how you are going to achieve that goal. Now on the second day we are saying that okay, we as a team have divided our work and now we are going to do so. So every day we'll stand together for 15 minutes and see who all have done what kind of work. And if we are having any issues, we'll discuss it. Okay. So, so there are 3 specific things we say. What did you do yesterday? What will you do today? And is there any way or is there any issues that you are having? We are there to resolve. So every day, 15 minutes, we'll sit together, we'll stand together and discuss that. So just a small time boxed event, I can say. Okay. It is not a status report. Scrum Master is there and team is there. Only these people are there. Okay. And if required, product owners are also there. Okay. Let's go to next slide. Sprint review. Okay. So there was a goal to achieve. There was a, or you can say an agenda to achieve. At the end of the 14th day or at the end of the 10th day, we are seeing how have we achieved that or not. Okay. And if we have achieved that, we'll show it to the customer. So we as a team are trying to show to our customer what we have achieved. Were we able to do our task or not? So we will show them a small demo in a form of a dummy thing where we'll show certain thing which is working. Okay, so that customer can also understand that yes, the requirement which he has given is being achieved or not. But it is a very small, it's a very small shippable item, we can say. Okay, so this is sprint review. It varies from like accordingly 2 hours to 4 hours. It is also a time box event, and the people who are a part of it is a scrum team, that means developers and the scrum masters, including product owners and the stakeholders. If I say stakeholders, these are the business people who are saying that what exactly is there is being delivered to them or not, and based on that they will give us feedback. Okay, these things are good and all the other things that we want change. Okay, so this is a sprint review. Next come the retrospective. This is a very important thing that I would say team only as a developers and the scrum master, they sit together and say, now my sprint is covered, I have achieved my task in that 10 days or 10 working days, and now as a team we want to see what are the next action item that we can focus, or what are the improvement area that we can focus. Okay, we also appreciate as a team member to each other by writing down what went well, how we can improve, and what we can put it in the next item. This is also a time box event. It happened from half an hour to 2 hours, in which only the participants are the Scrum Master and the team. Okay. So these are the 4 ceremonies, I would say, or 4 meetings that Scrum says, please follow it so that you will be able to deliver it in a quality form and in a successful form. Let's go to next slide. Okay. Now you understood what Scrum is. There are certain myths which is given. Okay. Agile is a silver bullet that will be able to achieve it very fast. No. There is no fixed price contract. There is no project managers. There is no distributed team. No, these are not. There are certain things we say these are not. Okay, let's go to next slide. What are the benefits? Let's see. Next slide. So as you can see, once we have a better visibility, we'll be able to deliver it fast, we'll be able to deliver it more. So the ROI or the return that we are getting will also increase, risk will reduce, and collaboration of individual will also increase, hence trust will increase, and the ownership and commitment, hence a better work-life balance will get. Okay, so these are the certain benefits of Scrum, or you can say benefits of Agile also. Yeah, let's go to next. Enable growth, improve efficiency, delight stakeholders, and minimize waste. If I say if I'm able to deliver more, my customer will be more happy. And when my customer will be more happy, I'll be having more work life balance. And also, how this is happening, we are reducing waste. If we say we are reducing waste, we are prioritizing the things. Okay, let's go to next slide. Spotify. Okay, this is one of the model, I would say, that has been successfully adopted. Okay, if I say successfully adopted, Spotify, as I think you guys are pretty much aware, it's an organization which has created a model which is, I would say, not very much different from that of Scrum, but certain things have been taken from Scrum and they have created their own version. Okay, as Agile says, if you remember for the very first part, there are four values and 12 principle. You follow those four values and 12 principle and act accordingly based on the condition, needs, and demand. Similarly, Spotify has created his own model. Let's see how it has become successful in the market, and most of the companies are following it. So as you see, Spotify is the largest model, okay, which is being used. Let's see the framework. Can we go to next? Yes. So they were following Scrum. So there were certain ceremonies that they were these ceremonies that they were using, but they wanted that it has to be people driven. So the approach, they call it as autonomous. If I say autonomous approach, that means they wanted to shift from one thing to the other. So let's see, they call it, as you can see on the left hand side on the diagram, there are word called tribes, there are word called squads. Okay, let's see what these all words specify and what are their meaning. Can we go to next slide? See, so there are principle involved in it. There are main principle is autonomy. Autonomy is often seen as a foundation, as we say autonomy. uh, Agility, alignment, adaptation. So imagine a team which is called squad. Okay, and this team contain people who are developers, who are testers, who are, I would say, who are coders, any kind of. It is a cross-functional team which include every member who are able to deliver it individually as a team, and they are also the one taking the decisions, and they are starting from start till the end. That means they are taking the requirement, they are developing it, they are deploying it, and also they are releasing it. So now we say these team as squad. Okay, so the team which is able to deliver successfully by taking their own decision making is called squad, hence we say this is an autonomy. That is where Spotify has taken that we will make our team individual enough so that they can deliver it by taking their own decisions. But what they are following, they are following these five values, or I would say from Scrum: openness, courage, focus, commitment, and respect. Okay, so all but based on all these five approach, or let's say five values, we are using this. Let's go to next slide. Let's see how this structure is, quad structure is. Next slide, please. Okay, squad, as you can see, it's a team which I said, which is self-organized, cross-functional, autonomy, aligned in agility. We are following agile, okay, but we having a certain alignment in it. Let's see how this alignment is. So initially there were Scrum Masters, as you remember, but here the difference is that we do not want Scrum Master. They should not give a direct communication or an guidance to our team. We want coach, so that whenever teams come with certain issues, they as a person coach can guide them only. They are not going to dictate them anything, they are going to guide them. They are not going to give any solution to the team, they will give an approach of the solution. So we have replaced our scrum master with an agile coach. So every team has its own agile coach and has a product owner, including these development teams. Okay, so these are the squads. Let's go to next page. Tribe. What is tribe? So imagine a scenario where there are 10 or 12 teams. Okay, if I say 10 and 12 teams, all teams are working on a certain product. Certain product means they have certain features which they have to deliver on time. So imagine, as you can see, squad 1, 2, 3, 4. So every squad is contributed by a leader. Okay, they are the one who are taking, I will handle this team. And these teams are called tribe leader. It's a collection of squad, or you say collection of team which are grouped together to achieve certain goal. Okay, so these are called tribe leaders. And ultimately squad of 4 or 5, it can be any number, 4 team members, 5 team members, but the person who is handling is called tribe leader, and itself this is called tribe. Okay, let's go to next page. Chapter. Okay, what is chapter? This is pretty much different. So imagine there are 4 teams, or we say 4 squads. It is handled by one tribe leader, but every team has is a cross-functional team. Cross-functional team, they are designers, there are testers, there are developers, and as we are pretty much aware, there are every time we have new skills in our IT industries. So how this knowledge sharing is to be done? Okay, so this knowledge sharing has to be done to each other. So we are saying that people who are having similar kind of knowledge can make a team. So how they are making a team? So this is what we call as chapter. Imagine in the 4 tribes there are 4 testers, and we want these 4 testers to share their knowledge to each other. Then we say it has become a chapter. Guild. And guild is what? Imagine a larger portion of the people who want to share their knowledge to each other. This is called guild. Okay. A group of people across tribes and squad participate in knowledge sharing. What are the tools and techniques that they are using? So they are more focused on sharing, so that as an organization we can also grow. This is called guild. So these were the small difference that Spotify has used. Okay, and it has become a very comprehensive, I would say a successful model which is now being followed by most of the industries. Okay, this is how the agile has changed the world of the people. Okay, let's go to next slide. Roles and responsibility, quickly we'll see there are all what are the roles and responsibility. Next slide. Agile coach. I said, as they have replaced their scrum master with the coaches, they are the servant leader. They are there to resolve the issues what these people or these development people are having. Second is the product owner. Of course, the product owner maintain the backlog. And next, the final is the development team. Okay, let's go to the next slide. What are the benefits? Oh, pretty much benefits. Let's see. Next slide. Less formal process and ceremonies. So they have adopted the values of Scrum, but they are not using all of the ceremonies or everything. So they have removed these formal process. They have taken the values from the Scrum and they have created their own ideas and implementations. Okay. So autonomy and trust is a key factor. As they say, autonomy is a key factor. As we have seen, we want our team, we want our squad to be individual enough so that they can give a releasable item. Okay, they are more self-managed, they are encouraged to take mistake, and we have transparency with the community. Okay, so these are some of the benefits. That's it I have from my end. I would say thank you all. Any questions that you have, we are here and we can welcome those. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Back to you.
Yeah. So That this was so informative. I only could start a career in Azure right now. Oh wow, that is why we have so many questions. We really have got our viewers quite interested. So one more time, thank you, Mr. Ravi and Savita, for your presentation. So now let's move on to the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please comment below. We're happy to answer. Let's see. It looks like we have a few questions. Our first question is from Tung. He asks, "What are my career prospects if I pursue my career in Agile?"
Oh,
Have
very
you?
well. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I would say a very good and a perfect questions, which is asked from a student, I would say. Thank you very much for this question. Yes, as we say that Agile has transformed the world, Agile has transformed the IT industry. Definitely, you should be the part of that industry. And career perspective, yes, there is an immense career perspective. As you have seen in the slides, there were the role of Scrum Master, there were the roles of Agile Coach, role of product owners, and all these are aligned enough, and these are the roles which are specific to Agile. You can become a coach, you can become a Scrum Masters, but initial step is like, yes, definitely you need to have some technical expertise, and then moving ahead you can have that certain leadership. You can become a Scrum Master, you can become a product owner, you can become a product managers also. Various and immense amount of opportunity if you go ahead and understand what is Agile and how this real world is taken. Okay. Thanks, Mai.
Yes, thank you. So the next question is from Nguyễn Hà. When should we start training for it? And what state of our education?
Okay. When should we start training for it? The very basic, or I would say a very baby step, would be start training yourself from day one. When you want to be in this real industry of IT, definitely you need to be aware of what Agile is. Whenever you move into it, start training yourself, start understanding, start attending those seminars. Even you can have certain there are certain books also which you can use, and educate yourself to a level so that you are industry wise adapted, and industry wise you are standardized. There are certain certifications which are done. You can go ahead and do that certification also. If I say scrum.org is a foundation where you can go and understand what Scrum is. You can go ahead for certified Scrum Master, you can go ahead and do certified product owner courses. Various things can be done. Just look at scrum.org, there you can go ahead and see. Okay, start encouraging yourself, start going and educating yourself. Thank you.
So our next question is going to be, what can be my starting salary if I start my career in Azure?
Very pretty much. I would appreciate the person who has asked this question. Of course, the starting salary, if I say starting salary, yes, you can have a level of knowledge, have a level of understanding, have a level of
So something happened in connection with Savita. So we're going to next with Ravi. So Ravi, can you answer the questions for us?
I am not the subject matter expert to be answering that question, but however, I'll try to address the question. So, starting salary, it all depends on how well you have learned the subject, how well you can demonstrate the skills that you have learned. And as we go forward, you will see that agile ways of working, DevOps ways of working are the new, you know, the new mindset, as Savita had mentioned, to do product development, to do software development, and that is what is needed even in today's scenario where there's a lot of digital transformation that is going on across the sectors, be it the financial services or be it retail. Uh, Manufacturing, pharmaceutical, life sciences. So, having said that, the more you are, understanding the topic, the more experience that you gain, you will be placed in the right, step on the ladder where you can move forward and grow exponentially with the salary expectations because there's a huge demand in the market.
So thank you. So Savita, you come back.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. I apologize for that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting for you. So we can continue it.
Sure.
So I will ask you another questions. Is how Agile has transformed new way of working in IT?
Agile has transformed its new way of working. I said definitely a new way of working has transformed. Since we are able to give certain aspect which is required from the customer, like faster time to market, definitely. uh, as we can see, technology is transforming very fast. Okay, similar is the need of the customer is also changing, so hence the demand of the change is very frequent. So I would say faster time to market. So how we are doing so, we are by doing so more number of releases. And how these more number of releases is going, with the help of agile, definitely. So agile has helped a lot, and it has, I would say, drastically transform this IT industry. Not only IT, I would say the world, because the world is impacted by it. So faster time to market, release number of release are increasing, and hence the customer needs are also being catered, I would say. So all these changes are being accepted and these are being released. This is what it comes from the values, I would say, or from the principle that customer is the very important to us. Second is, please respond to that changes. This is how these 12 principle has taken aspects, and agile has transformed. So this is a new real work, I was saying, new way of working. Thank you. When should we adopt agile? Of course, I would say there are certain needs. Okay, there are certain scenarios. For example, if my requirement is like, okay, fine, my requirement is 100% assured from the customer. Okay, and I say there is no scope of change, then we can go ahead for waterfall or any other model. But as in this real world, we are saying the change or the need or the requirement is changing very frequently. We are also having new skills also. So drastically, the faster we are delivering, the faster we are shipping to the customers. So we should go ahead for that agile. Then if we want certain things to be changed, if we want certain things to go greater and grow in the market, we should go ahead for agile. Okay, thanks. Any other question? What are the challenges involved in developing agile software? Of course, there are certain challenges that we need to accept, as I can say. Risk is one of the thing. How we say risk, since we are accepting the changes in the mid of the cycle, I would say mid of the sprint sometime, mid of the release. So that is a small risk which we are taking. As we say, the customer need is changing, the demand is changing, all those demands are coming to us while we are developing that. Hence the environment of that development need to be seen. What are the risks that need to be assessed? So the major challenge that we see is risk. We need to calculate that and move accordingly. All challenges can be moved. I think all challenges can be catered once we have a certain level of planning, once we have a certain level of motivation, I would say trust, where we can say yes, we as a team can deliver. Okay. So this is all about. So every time you'll face certain challenges, but the most primary which I see is we are responding to changes, and this is where which is coming as a risk factor. Thank you all. Any other questions? I would see a lot of questions coming.